Hello YouTube, we'll be showing you today how to change the diff oil for a HPI Trophy Buggy Flux. First step is you remove all 4 of these screws on the top of the differential. Here we're taking off the final screw for the differential and what your differential should look like inside. First step is to take off the cog on the differential where you just taken off. Then there's the pin that's holding on to the little cog, and then there's a gasket, either it's the same colour as ours, blue, or something different. It just seals in all of the oil, and after that there should be a cup on the other side that should come off quite easily with a bearing on it. And then after that, make sure you give all the parts that you've just taken off a thorough clean. This is what item we're using to help clean off some of the differential parts. One step is to be careful of the O-ring which is located on the differential. As you can see, here's the inside of the differential and how mucky it is with all the diff oil. But the steps you have to do is to remove all the contents inside with probably some tweezers, because it will help out getting your fingers a bit dry. And then the next step is using a 2mm hex driver. There should be a little tiny screw in the side that's keeping hold of the pin that's in the underneath the cog there. Just to remove that. And then remove the cog that's in the inside there, probably using some tweezers as well because it's very dirty. Be careful of the pin. There's a pin inside there that was holding onto the cog. There's a hole in the side where you just remove the little screw in there with the 2mm hex driver. It should come out through that hole. Place it to one side, and then hopefully the diff cup on the other side should come off, and including the bearing as well. And remembering there is an O-ring down there as well, so just be careful of that as well when cleaning it out. Here's all the parts after just being cleaned. As you can see, they're a lot more clean than what they were. No oil on them at all. Make sure there is no oil, and make sure you put that O-ring back in the middle there. And here's how to reassemble the differential back, starting off with the bearings and then the differential cups, and then you've got to push that pin through that hole, trying to line it up with that little hole where you had the little cog sitting over the top of it. And then you got to try and drop the cog right on top of that pin, trying to align it just right so it sits down flush on the pin. Now just place back the gears back in the inside over the pins so it sits nice in the differential. There's one of them in. Then you've got to place the gears back over the top of that one, making sure that they sit all nice, and after this put them in, make sure it all spins around nicely. Here's the differential oil that we'll be using. This is for the rear and the middle differential. This is 12,500 weight oil, and for the front differential we'll be using 4,000 weight. So now you've got to pour the oil in. As you can see, it's clear and it's like a gel. You've got to pour it in just enough so it goes over the top of the gears. make sure to spin it just to make sure all the oil gets in there, and then check, see how high it is. At the moment it's still a bit low, so we've got to put in a bit more. Make sure to keep spinning it around so all the oil gets into the gears. And it's still a little bit more, just enough so it goes over the top of the pin that has the gears in it. That seems a little bit less, so we've got to put in a bit more. Doesn't matter if you overfill it a bit much, it will come out the sides. That seems just right now. Very sticky. There we go. That's all the oil that you need to put in, and then next step is we'll be able to seal all the differential up, putting the casing back on. The final step is to put that screw back in. We forgot to put it in, but you can put it in at the end, it doesn't really matter. Then you've got to place the top over with the little cog, putting the gasket back on, lining it all up. Make sure you can see where the screws have to go in. Finally, tighten down all the screws and make sure that your differential is rotating freely. By grabbing onto the differential and just spinning on the sides. If it's not moving, just take it apart, have a look what the problem is, take all the bits out, put them back in again. You might need to put some more oil in again, but just make sure it spins around all freely like this one is doing.